Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews. I just wanted to make a quick video on Mario Kart World today because of the recent update that they put out into the world. I've been following Mario Kart World since the Switch 2 launch. I have not purchased it myself. I'm not supporting an $80 video game. I didn't want to buy it digitally with the bundle, so I'm just waiting until it's nice and cheap for a physical cartridge, and then I'll jump in, because honest to goodness, it looks like a fun experience. From everything I've seen from people playing it, Knockout Tour especially looks exceptionally fun. It does look like an extreme rubber banding type of game with 24 racers. It seems like if you're close to the back by the third lap and you get the really good items, especially like a gold mushroom, you're probably going to get a very good placing or even breeze right into first place. Bagging seems to be the meta right now, holding out for items and stuff. There does seem to be a lot of flaws with it, but it does look very, very competent. It looks like a great Mario Kart experience, something that I would really like to have fun with, playing with my friends. Probably not a whole lot of solo experience myself, but it does look like a great party game. From most people's experience, it looks very fun. But the online has had some problems, primarily with people playing in the online mode where you have the intermission laps. So if you're not unfamiliar with how this works, if you're playing in an online lobby and you get a specific track, it will take you on like 2 intermission laps, essentially straight line runs, as you get to the final lap, which is kind of like a lap of an actual track here, instead of the traditional 3 laps that you're used to in every other Mario Kart game. This is to integrate the open world into the game more, and Nintendo really likes this idea. It's very clear, and people didn't like it very much because the straight lines are kind of boring. There's not a whole lot of like variation for competitive players, and we all know how Nintendo likes competitive players if you look at the competitive Smash scene, but we'll get to that in just a second there. It just wasn't a whole lot of variance. Like the intermission tracks kind of sucked. So the way to circumvent that, players would pick random, and if you picked random, you would get a 0% chance of getting those intermission tracks, and you just have the traditional 3-track race like you are used to. Well, Nintendo decided to say, screw you to your customers. This is the way that you're going to play the game. We don't care how you want to. This is how you're going to play the game. And they patched it out, so now if you click random, you still have a very real chance of getting the intermission tracks despite not wanting them. There is no option currently to actually go in and give a traditional 3-lap race on any of the tracks. You might get it via random. It's not a 0% chance. You're not always going to get intermission tracks now, but instead of getting a guaranteed 3-track race like you're accustomed to, or like you maybe would want to in a more competitive setting, now it's just, you might get one anyway. You might just play the game the way Nintendo wants you to. Screw you in the way you want to play the game. You don't get to. And Nintendo has a bad track record of that. With the Super Smash Bros. Series, they have been really negative against tournaments. They have tried to shut down tournaments for years and years and years, for decades now. They have done a lot to kind of hinder the competitive scene. They don't like you playing competitively. They want you to play casually. They want you to play the way that Nintendo wants you to play, which is a huge criticism I've always had of Nintendo games. First-party games, their single-player experiences are phenomenal, out of this world, and games like Smash Brothers are always a ton of fun, but when they shoehorn their way of playing into the scene, it makes it a lot less fun for people. In the competitive scene for Super Smash Brothers, it's always really sucked, and it looks like they're doing that here with Mario Kart World, which also really sucks. I have not seen a ton of positive things about playing online aside from Knockout Tour. People like the racing, but again, the intermission laps just kind of suck because they're just straightaways. There's just not a whole lot going on. It's not very interesting. And the open world aspect itself, if you're playing in single player mode, isn't all that interesting either. There's just not a lot to do, and the stuff that you can do just doesn't look that fun. So the open world concept kind of didn't hit the way Nintendo wanted it to, and it looks like they're punishing their consumers for it by making it mandatory to have these intermission tracks so you can explore the open world more while you play Mario Kart. I saw some other thing early on talking about how you couldn't pick specific tracks. You had to be in that location in the world to get a certain track, or you have to be near that location to pick one. So that's why people were also picking random to get away from stuff like that. I don't know if that has been patched out since. I'm assuming not, if Nintendo's doing this direction for patching, but it just kind of sucks to see you don't have any traditional way to just pick the track you want, play a 3-lap race, and be done with it. There's just no chance for that. Nintendo is saying, no, we're going to slap you on the wrist and make you play the way we want you to. And again, for an $80 party game that primarily has been like a game that you just play with your friends at a party randomly. Like, it just sucks to see them making you play a specific way. There always is going to be a competitive audience for these type of games. Racing games, you want to see who can be the best racer, who can be the best at exploiting the mechanics. I really like JP Givener. I really liked him watching his videos on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Fantastic YouTuber. Go check him out. He does a lot of great stuff with Mario Kart World. He's very adamant about Mario Kart World being fantastic and the driving aspects and stuff. I love to see him just killing it there and really enjoying his element. But stuff like this makes it so much harder for people like him who are really good at competing, the competition aspect of things. And now it's just, there's so much more variance included there, and it's just, there's no guarantee that you're going to have a good time online anymore. So it just kind of sucks to see. It's another big reason I'm not going to buy Mario Kart World anytime soon. I want to see them work out some bugs, work out some kinks, get rid of a lot of these shoehorned mechanics. I don't know if they're ever going to include like just a classic mode where you can race 3 traditional laps like every other Mario Kart game, or if they're just going to insist on you have to play the game the way that we want you to. If that's the case, I've even seen like Nathaniel Bandy made a video on it talking about how he's just done playing Mario Kart right now. He's done playing online until they do something about this because it's just not fun anymore. And that just drives me away as a consumer. I have been tempted by a couple buy sell trade posts like $60 for a physical copy. I'm like, that's not half bad. I maybe like to get it cheaper, but $60 for a physical cartridge is not too bad. And then I see stuff like this and I go, but am I going to like my experience? Am I going to have fun playing this game? Is it going to be worth it if I try and get online? Right now, it's absolutely not. So hopefully Nintendo walks this back. I don't see them doing that anytime soon, but the backlash has been pretty immediate and a lot of people are speaking out against it. So maybe we'll get something in the future with a classic mode as well as the intermission mode, something more akin to like a more competitive style versus a casual style, but time will have to tell. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. If you happen to have Mario Kart World, what has your experience been with it so far? Have you had a positive experience? Have you had a mix? Have you not enjoyed it? I would love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.